This is an Iveco truck driving down the motorway at a lowly 56 miles per hour. And this is the very same Iveco flying towards turn 1 at 100 miles an hour with 19 other 5-ton machines right on its tail.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to truck racing. The racing series you have to see to believe. They're very loud.
And today we're finding out what on earth this series is, chatting to some of the drivers, witnessing it live, and maybe even seeing a crash. Let's not tempt fate though, lads, alright? We want everyone to come home safe, although a crash would be very good for content. Now, as always on this channel, when we find a brand new crazy motorsport that I want to find out a little bit more about, we must first do a little deep dive into the history of it to find out how it works and also what lunatic thought it'd be a good idea. Now, I'm sure it's going to come as no surprise to you boys and girls, but the initial idea of racing lorries around a racing circuit originated from the good old USA. According to the internet's most reliable source, the first ever event took place at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on June 17th, 1979, with the race even featuring as the opening scene of the then blockbuster movie Smokey and the Bandit 2, which saw a driver with no seatbelt on, a cowboy hat as a helmet, and his dog loose in the cab with him. Now, I don't think this is how the actual drivers look while they were racing, but I mean, it's the US, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Into the 80s, the series continued to grow throughout mainly the east coast of the states, with racing taking place on both paved and dirt ovals. The machines racing was still for the most part just bog standard working trucks with bog standard street tyres. Yet the freedom-loving lunatics didn't let that stop them from hitting top speeds of up to 150 miles per hour on tracks like Pocono. Unfortunately though, the Great American Truck Racing series didn't last for long, as by the start of the 90s it was all but dead. Yet, thankfully for the sport of truck racing, us British folk in the 80s did what we do best: steal. As we took the idea of sending big rigs round in circles and made it our own by getting them to turn both left and right during a lap.
Is this some kind of sick joke?
The British Truck Racing Association was founded in 1984 and saw the big boys race it out on more traditional style circuits instead of ovals. And whether it was down to how epic they looked sliding around the proportionally small circuits, or just the simple absurdity of the entire thing, it had the British race fans hooked, with the series becoming an established part of the UK's racing calendar even to this day, with the current calendar having 35 races over 7 rounds around 5 of the UK's most popular circuits. And today, of course, I'm going to one. And I've got quite the drive to get there, so let's crack on and head to the land of rugby, sheep, and town names that look like the leftover letters you have at the end of a game of Scrabble. That's right, lads, I'm talking about Wales. Now, I've not got the missus with me today. Instead, I've got my friend TJ here.
Basically the same thing, really.
He's Cornish like me, but he's also half Welsh, so he can help me translate in case anyone speaks to me today in Welsh. Can you speak Welsh? He's fluent, mate. So, round 6 of the British Truck Racing Championship takes place at Pembury Circuit in South Wales. That's where we are today, if you haven't caught on. However, the series also races at Brands Hatch, Thruxton, Donington Park, and Snetterton throughout the course of the year. They also used to race at Silverstone back in the day, but they don't anymore for some reason, or at least not this year anyway. The trucks themselves weigh more than 5 tons, produce in excess of 1,000 brake horsepower, and quite frankly, look absolutely mental both inside and out. The grid is split into 2 classes, with Division 1 being home to the most advanced machines, which have bespoke braking and suspension systems, and Division 2 trucks being much more standard. And between the 2 classes, pretty much all the big manufacturers can be seen, from Daimler to Iveco, MAN to DAF, and even a good old Volvo. So here's all the trophies and the podium. Lovely stuff. They've left unattended. It's fair game, really, isn't it? Now the racing is meant to be non-contact, but as you can imagine, putting 20 fat trucks on a small track together, it doesn't quite fully look non-contact. It's good to see that even on big boy trucks like this, they're still held together with cable ties. There also seems to be no manufacturer loyalty here, lads. He drives a man, but his racing trucks are daft. Now, I don't know enough about trucks to know if that's a big deal or not, but it just feels a bit like, you know, Charles Leclerc pulling up to the racetrack in a Mercedes. So now we know a bit more about the series. The main question on my mind was, what the hell is it like to drive these things? So I had a quick chat with the unloyal man himself to find out.
Oh, they're just absolutely mental, you know, the size of them, 5.5 tons and big bits of kit, you know, so it's very different. And the art of driving them is completely different as well. What you've got to remember, unlike a car, is they're a lot longer than a car. So if you're going to send it up the inside, you've got to actually get a lot further up the inside than you would do in a car. You've got to come and see it in the flesh to appreciate it. You know, watching these on TV is great, but coming and seeing them for real life, watching something this big, this powerful, going around a race circuit, you know, nose to tail with 20 other trucks, it's just a different experience to anything else.
On the topic of big and powerful things, however, lads, why don't you take a second to slap that subscribe button with your big and powerful finger? If you don't want to, that's fine. Just admit you're too weak to do so. Anyway, with my official journalism duties complete, it was almost time to see these bad boys race in person. But first, there were some races for the pickup trucks, which, to be fair, could have a whole video of their own because look how sick they look. And also a weird sports car series, which saw the most random assortment of vehicles, lads, honestly. We had sports cars, a souped up classic Mini, a Caterham, and even a bloody Fiesta. But anyway, before long, it was time for the main event. What we've travelled all this way for, the British Truck Racing Championship.
Waiting for the red lights to go out, the power to come on. Here we go. It's the charge of the truck brigade. Stuart Oliver's rear-facing camera getting some attention from Simon Reed. He's tangled with Michael Oliver. Onto the grass they go. Oliver's going to spin out. Oh, we've got a tangle at the hairpin. I heard a shout from the crowd there. Checkered flag is at the ready. Oliver takes a dominant win.
Now all day, me and TJ have been having the discussion about these trucks, right? Because they're obviously quite big. Indeed. How do they get to the track? Is there a bigger truck they get inside of? That doesn't seem right.
Doesn't seem right, does it?
They don't, obviously not going to get towed, so we weren't quite sure.
I was thinking helicopter myself.
But I think we finally got an answer now. Are you seeing this, lads? The answer is a lorry with a truck on the back and the flatbed with the truck. It's a lorry with a bit of a truck back on it and then a flatbed. There's your answer, lads. It's half. There's the answer. They got half a flatbed on the back of the truck, all right? There you go. The fucking lorry's on there. The lorry pulls it along. How would you explain what that is?
A truck with a fucking truck, flatbed truck.
So there you have it, boys and girls. That is the world of truck racing. It's definitely, goes without saying, a unique sport, but it's quite a good one. I'd probably come watch it again. What did you think, TJ, behind the camera?
Thought it was pretty good, you know. Good day out. Recommend. 10 out of 10.
Outside of the UK, there's also a big FIA European Truck Racing Championship, which is pretty similar to the British one, but obviously they race all around Europe instead. Brazil's also had its own Formula Truck series, which ran from 1996 to 2017, and the motorsport even made a brief comeback in the US, lads, with the short-lived Bandit Big Rig series coming and going in the late 2010s. So yeah, lads, truck racing is definitely a series to check out. And if you live in the UK and do want to go see it in person, they have their season finale at Brands Hatch on the 4th and 5th of November. So get your tickets booked up, and maybe you might see me there. Full disclosure, I'm not going to be there because, you know,
I ain't got that sort of money. I'm not paying 13 quid.
Let me know in the comments down below if there's any other weird, wonderful, or just random motorsports you think I should check out. And until next time, lads, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you a lot later.